Hello, my name is Do Young Jo. Today I'm going to present my case study about a very special social company called Bear Better, which is located in South Korea. To give you a brief outline about my case study, first of all, I'm going to start with a short introductions and looking at some global changes happening in social entrepreneurship in the world, and then social entrepreneurship development in South Korea, and then I'll move on to foundation and business missions of Bear Better and their differentiation strategies and some challenges and criticisms that Bear Better face. And then lastly, I will move to a short conclusion. First of all, history. Bear Better was founded in 2012 in the objective of employing people with developmental disabilities, including autism. Their main service area and products are printing, handmade bakery, customized flower bouquets, and business card. And they successfully launched and operated a few cafes in a headquarters of large companies since 2016. Although when it first started its business in 2012, there were a lot of adverse conditions for as a social enterprise hiring disabled workers. However, it's got an enormous success since then. Now it hires 180 workers in the developmental disabled. Revenue growth is about 40 times, and it has formed business partnerships with more than 200 companies so far. Moving to some changes of global sense of social enterprise. First of all, there's a bold movement of nonprofit organizations and social enterprise to take some lessons from private companies' business model. For example, Freedom Bakery in the UK or Acumen Funds, which is nonprofit global venture fund based in New York. So they are taking a very different business model from other social enterprise. They are actually providing some profits for the funders, and they also take strong marketing strategies that private companies normally take. For example, Freedom Bakery is the nonprofit organization providing employment and training for low offenders in the UK. They actually reinvested only 65% to its operation and broader social mission. Instead, the rest, 35%, go to the business people and franchisors rather than charitable or social funders. And they can be also return for their future operation. And also, they take the strong marketing strategies reflecting the products, not by just social outcomes that it's aiming for. Let's move on to social entrepreneurship development in South Korea. It was first introduced in 1997 due to the economic crisis. The cause was for the mass unemployment and polarization of income happening at that time. So people and government and organizations started to have some interest in social entrepreneurship, but they were not really well prepared, and the outcome was very unfortunate. It only created short-term low-wage jobs, so they start to realize the importance of sustainability of entrepreneurship, which can create jobs and contribution to society. Now you can see the growth of total employment in South Korea by social enterprises and the number of employment made by social enterprises for disabled people. Both figures grew a lot from 2007 and 2012, more than 10 times. So, with that considerable growth of social entrepreneurship in South Korea, what happened to Bear Better when they were first founded? Their initial challenges were ironically in the limitation of B2B model they have chosen. unlike dealing with small company, they actually targeted larger companies, and the department of those company needed to have just the right cause and actual benefit in order to change the suppliers. So Bear Better had to give both of them, but they actually failed. So that was the moment that co-founder Lee and Kim had to come up with actual smart business model which can appeal to the larger company with just right cause and actual benefit. After that realizations, they start to come up with some differentiation strategies. The first one is a business model, which is quite simple, based on government subsidization scheme for the disabled employment. First, government start to screen Bear Better whether they suitable standard workplace for the disabled or not, and then if they found to be appropriate, provide the certification as a standard workplace for the disabled. And the Bear Better, after this certification acquisition, they can have a partnership with the larger company in terms of employment of the disabled worker. In short, Bear Better can hire disabled people instead of the larger company. And then the government actually give a deduction of 50% of the cost for the item purchased from Bear Better. So, for example, if Bear Better sell a box of business card to a larger company and then the company pays, say, $10, then 50% of the cost can be deducted by the government, so the 50% can return to the company. So in turns, say a monthly $50 of the cost can be saved for the company. Second differentiation is bold investment and facility innovation. Co-founder Kim thought that most social enterprises had a very poor quality products and systems, so it actually strengthened the stereotypes about the social enterprises and their services. So he was not hesitate to invest a lot of money for better quality and safety at work. And the second thing is they also pour a lot of money for the expansion of the business. They started from the printing system, but later they started to expand their business to coffee and catering business and customized flower bouquets as well. And they have been very successful. And the last impressive thing is they also didn't neglect the welfare of both the workers. You will be very surprised to see their cafeteria, staff cafeterias, and offices. They all well decorated and beautifully designed, so no one can actually imagine the workplace is for the disabled. It more looked like a very comfortable and modern IT company. The last differentiation strategy can be found their marketing strategy. The special stories about this company and the good stories, despite the huge success that Bear Better achieved in relatively short time, they still have some challenges and criticism which actually can put their business in the future at risk. The first limitation can be found in their business model, ironically. Even though there's a growing interest of public about social entrepreneurship, uh, their business model is basically based on the government subsidization. So, if the government reduce the subsidization rate or if they abolish the policy, then the impact can be profound for their business operation in the longer run. And another thing is whether they actually can contribute to other social entrepreneurship in South Korea. Since they located in South Korea, in Seoul, So they could have some advantages in terms of business locations and access to larger companies. On the other hand, small companies or other social enterprises in countryside have some difficulty to apply their better business model. So that's the thing we have some question. And also, the last criticism comes from their employment rate. Compared to their sizable success and their fast growing, it's still hard to find a big difference between the last couple of years employment number and this year. There's only has been like 10 more employment happening last year. So they also actually questioned by the dedication of employment for the disabled in total. As a conclusion, social enterprises in South Korea and in many parts of the world still struggle a lot to present an alternative to deal with new economic and social conflicts in a sustainable growth. And to deal with, what they actually have to look for is innovation and creativity that most private companies also be required. Bear Better in this term actually show a different approach and how innovation and creativity of social entrepreneurship can get overcome that old difficulty to have that sustainable growth, and also can actually break down the stereotypes about social enterprises at the same time.